Hi friends, let's see the app we are going to develop in the next couple of lessons. When you run this app, this is the main option screen. You will see a menu which is on a table view. So I can click on say employee options, then it will load this data, and all the employee data are loaded dynamically from a data source, right? And then I can click on employee, and then it's dynamically changing this page with that particular employee and the projects. If I go back and click another employee, you can see the same page is dynamically changing with that employee and the projects, which are all loaded dynamically. The images are also loaded dynamically from a data source, right? So it's different images loaded dynamically. And then I can delete employees. Let's say I can swipe and say delete, then it deletes the data, right? If not, I can click on edit and say if I want to delete something, click on this and click delete, right? And when I'm done, I can say done, right? And then further I can insert data dynamically. Let us say a section P and say Peter, for example, and click OK. So it all gets added dynamically, right? Then once I'm done with employees, I can go scroll down, right? And then I can go into department options, right? So department, and do the same thing for department, right? But it's very important that you have to make sure to look at the next couple of lectures in this on table views, that is part 1, 2, 3, etc., until we complete this app. It explains all the theory and the practical knowledge which you need to know about developing this app, right? Okay friends, we are very excited to show you how to develop this app practically, and let's do it now. Okay friends, so the following is the outcome of this part of the lesson. When you complete this part of the lesson, your app will look like this. Until you complete the other parts of the lesson, it will have a main menu which is a static table view controller, right? And you will be able to click on the menu options and dig into detail, right? And dig into employee details and show the dynamic data, right? Likewise, right? And the most important thing is you can go back to a next screen, the department options, and it will allow you to make a simple app, right? But after you complete this lesson, make sure to go and look at the next lessons in order to complete the full app demonstrated earlier, friends, right? So let's do it now. Let's just count it. So let's put it here, right? Let's just delete this, and you have to return the count, right? Number of rows. So you have to get the count from the list, right? Let's return the count. Awesome. So I'm returning the count, right? Then the table view cells, right? Isn't it, right? Table view cells. This also, my friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get from what we have already done, because it makes our life easy, right? So just copy it from the list of employees and just bring it to the list of departments, so that you know it's working. So it's confirmed that this will work. I have to give an identifier. Let's give it a simple identifier 3, because I have given a couple of identifiers by now as identifier 1 and 2. So for this one, I'm going to click and say the identifiers, say identifier 3, right, my friends? Simple identifier 3. Then I'm coming here and just putting it as simple identifier 3, right? Okay, all looks good. Then the text is not from list of employees, it's coming from the AR list of department names, right? Awesome. And then I don't have a section, so I don't have to specify the section number. You have to understand these things. If you can't understand these things, look at our previous lessons, right? That's what I have told you earlier, right? Please have a look at the previous lessons, right? This one is list of department images. Once again, it's just getting the row, right? Awesome. Okay, let's run and see what's going to happen, right? Okay, let's see. It looks fine. Let's delete this. Need it, right? Okay, awesome. Let's build and see whether any issues are there, right? Okay, it's build succeeded, and then let's run and see whether, because earlier it was not loading anything in the table view controller, right? Now I have included. Awesome. See, it's working, my friends, right? It's working. So I got the departments, right? So we have done this part. So what I'm doing in this exercise, in this tutorial, is just applying what we have done already in the past, right? So if you are not clear of any of these, look at our previous section. That's what I said at the beginning. There are prerequisites for you to read before this lesson, right? Awesome. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go into the storyboard, and I'm going to click on this table view controller, and then I'm going to click on the table view, right? And I'm going to click on this. I'm going to look at the properties, right? I'm going to look at this identifier. So I'm checking few things, right? Content, right? Okay, the table view. Got few things. Table view controller. Checking whether things are in place, right? And what I'm looking is I'm trying to give that section heading, right? Because you remember we can give a section heading, right? So I want to give a heading here and say it's list of departments. So normally I did it for this one. See, for this one I just did it by clicking the section and I gave a header, right? But for this one, I'm not getting that option. So for this table view controller, I got that option, right? So when I click this and when I click the section, I can give the header. That's why it came the main one. But when I click this one, right? When I click, I don't get that option. Why is it? Because this is a dynamic. I have specified it to be a dynamic thing, right? Because here I specified it to be static cells. That's where I can specify the number of section over here. But over here, it's dynamic, right? So because it's dynamic, I will have to do things using my data model, right? I will do things using my data model, right? Awesome. So that's what we did for this one, right? For the list of employees, it was a dynamic thing. So for the list of employees, if you look back, we have array of header titles. Same thing I have to apply for this as well, right? Header titles, right? Section header titles, right? And then if I go here, right, you give the section header titles. I'm just copying it. I'm doing it fast because we have already done this once, my friends, right? Then over here, I'm going to give my header name as list of departments, right? Awesome. And then I have to override the relevant method. If you remember, the method is title for header. So because I have done it, I'm copying it, right? So if you don't know how to do this, look at our previous lessons before this, right? As I have said a couple of times now. So then you go down and then you put that here and then you just return the section, and I have explained this in the previous lesson how this is working. Now let's run and see, because it's just applying what we have already discussed. So it's not a discussion really, it's an application. If you want the discussion, see, it's working. If you want to explanation and the discussion, look at the previous lessons, right? Awesome. Now I got it all right? Wonderful, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the main storyboard back, right? And I'm going to set this one as my initial view controller once again, right? Because I was testing. Now I will see the main options. If I run it now, once again, after setting the initial view controller, now I should see not the list of department, I should see the main options, right? So I should see the main options now, right? Let's see, my friends, right? Awesome, right? I got the main option. Now when I click on these options, I want to load the stuff, but I can do it statically if I want. So what I can do is I can put static storyboard segues, right? So I can just click on each cell and control drag if I want, right? So just click on the cell and control drag, right? And I don't know, let's say show, right? Okay, right? Let's say I put one storyboard segue for that, right? And then let's do that, right? Let's awesome. So then I can just click this and control drag, right? Awesome, right? Let's say show it, right? So that is static, right? So that should be fine. So if I run this now, right? So when I run this now, I should see, let's say if I click this, see, it goes to the employees, right? And if I click on employee, it loads the employee data, right? So Frank, right? Awesome, right? Then if I go to the departments, it loads the departments. Still I haven't connected anything here, right? Awesome, right? So this is working, right? And the other option is rather than having this static storyboard segues, I can make it dynamic using code, right? I can write event handling over here and dynamically populate these view controllers, right? That's another option, right? Also we have done that as well, right? So that's what we are doing in the list of employees. If you look at the list of employees, in that when I click on each cell, see, when I click on each cell, I'm dynamically loading the next view controller, right? So now you know both the options, so you can apply whatever the suitable option, right? Because in that basically I'm just creating and calling the relevant one, right? So let me see. Okay, let me show you something as well. Give me a sec. Okay, name click. Let me show the dynamic thing also, thinking it will be helpful for you, right? So as extra thing, let's quickly now do that as well, right? Let's say now when you run, let's say you want to dynamically, rather than statically binding, let's say you want to dynamically load it, right? So I want to give you that revision as well, right? So for that, I have to go and override this method, right? Did select row at index path in the main view controller, right? So which is list of departments, right? So list of employees. Let me check it. Okay, now the thing is this, my friends. Now, if I'm to do that, I need to write the code, right? So I need that class, because now for this one, because it's dynamic, where is the code for this, right? It's attached in the what do you call, identity inspector. It's attached to a class. That's where I wrote the code, right? Same for this dynamic table view controller, right? For this one on the identity inspector, right? I have attached a class which is this one. But for this one, there's no class attached because it's a static table view controller. So if I want to do that programmatically, I will have to attach a class and make it a dynamic view controller. So I will not do it for this lesson, right? Because we have already done it, right? If you want, you can apply it. So let me do one more thing. The final thing is to embed this in navigation controller. So I'm going to embed this now in navigation controllers, right? So what I'm going to do is this, right? So okay, I'm going to give me a sec, make some space so I can see. So I would like to embed this in, now we have done navigation controllers earlier, so you know it. So what I'm going to do is, okay, let's say, let's put something common in the middle, right? So let me insert embed a navigation controller into this, right? Let me do it now. So I'm going to go to the Shift L, navigation controller, right? So I'm going to put one navigation controller over here, right? Okay, and then when I put it, it gives me let's look at the properties. When I embed a navigation controller, if I look at this, I'm getting a navigation controller, right? And then I'm getting a view controller embed, and then I'm getting a relationship segue, right? It's a relationship segue from here to here, right? So what I'm going to do is, I got two options. Either I can embed this in a navigation controller and run it in that series, or embed this in a navigation and run in that series. So it's up to you. What I'm going to do is, let me make it simple, right? So that's one option, right? The other one is I'm going to delete this segues for a sec, right? For a second, delete this segue, and I'm going to get some space, right? Move it like this, and I'm going to embed this one in a navigation controller, right? I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to go to the editor and say embed in navigation controller, right? So I'm going to select it and say editor, embed in a navigation controller. That's another option, right? So then what happens is that will be embedded in a navigation controller, right? Then same, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to embed that also in a navigation controller, right? So editor, embed in navigation controller, right? Okay, and then I'm going to bring this to close, right, into this, right? And then I'm going to create that segues once again, right, from here to the navigation controller. So from here, I'm going to control drag to the navigation controller, right? Okay, and then once again from the department, I'm going to control and drag to the navigation controller, right? Let's run and see what changes are seen, right? So let's click on it. Okay, let's click and see, right? So when I click on this, I'm getting something, right? Let's click on this and see what's happening. Okay, now I want to embed the rest in this navigation controller, right? So that's my idea, right? So I want to embed the rest of it in a navigation controller, right? So what I have to do now is, to get that effect, I will have to, when I programmatically load this from here, when I load this, rather than just displaying it at a view, as a view controller, I should push this into the navigation controller. We have already done it, and the code is already there, because if you look at where I'm pushing, where I'm calling the dynamic view controller, right? From here, this is the list of employees. So if you go to list of employees.m, this is where I'm calling that displaying the view controller. So instead of presenting, I can get the navigation controller and push it, right? So we have done this in the past. So if you can't understand this, look at our previous lessons on let me tell you the exact lesson number, right? So that you know it. So look at our previous lesson under the title multiple screens navigation controllers, right? Look at it. And you will see how to present and dismiss view controllers and navigation controllers programmatically, right? In that we are explaining this in detail, but this is the code for that. Just here, right? You just say push the view controller, right? That's what you do, right? So let's run this and see what's going to happen now, right? So let's push it and see whether you see anything, right? So let's click on this, right? And let's click on this. See, you get that navigation. See, you get the back button. That's the purpose of a navigation controller, right? You get the back button. So for example, when you click on Frank and when you swipe and dismiss, it goes back to the main options because the whole thing is in a stack view now, right? In a navigation controller, right? So here you don't get the second option because I have not added it. But as you can see, when I put a navigation controller, what happens is when I click this, so when I click on an employee, see it's in a stack, so I can go back. So we have done this on our lessons on multiple screens. Look at that to get further details, my friends, right? Awesome. So this works, right? And I think we have reached the end of the session, right? So let's now look at what's next. So the advantage for you all, the viewers in this series is, now we are teaching you how to do things, right? Now you can use this code what we are providing as a template, right? So for your future projects, right? So that's happy news, my friends, right? The happy news for you is we are going to share this code, and in the download link of this series, just download it, practice these videos, and then when you are doing your own projects, you can use this code as a template, right? So all the code we are developing in this series are template codes for you to understand and then apply them in your real app developments, right? Because the objective of this series is to make sure that you all become industry level software developers, right? So in a very short period of a time, right? That's the objective, and you all are achieving it, my friends, right? And but keep in mind, if you want to go to the industry, you need to know about future is data science and machine learning, artificial intelligence. So we'll be releasing more videos on artificial intelligence, data science and machine learning. So just make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss those crystal clear videos on data science and machine learning, right? Just make sure to subscribe, but click the bell icon, otherwise you will not get the notifications, right? Awesome. Now we are done with that, so let's go and quickly see whether we did. So yeah, we discussed whatever we said, right? And we add more options and view controllers. Awesome. We did practical. Conclusion, we learn all of them, right? And we use navigation controllers, etc., right? We added more options. We did some practicals for the session, and you can find the link to download the source code for the projects done in this session in the relevant download section in this series. And we did it a little bit fast. Why is it, friends? Why did we do it a little bit fast? So if you are a regular viewer of this channel and this series, you will know we don't do things this fast. We do in a very simple manner. But why did we do this lesson a bit fast? Because we didn't teach anything new as such much in this. We applied everything what we have done in the past just to make a template code for you, right? So that's why it sounded a little bit fast, because it was like a revision, it was like application. So if it was a bit fast for you, that means you have to look at the previous lessons once again, right? Reference was Apple Developer Docs. What's next? Have a look at our other videos for practicals on dynamic view, table view, dynamic content, event handling. Have a look at other videos on objectives A to Z. Also make sure, as I said, have a look at other series on machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science and IoT, right? So it was an exciting session, my friends. Reference was Apple Developer Docs. As I said, right, it was an exciting journey in this video you had, right? And you learn a lot of things, and you got a template for your future application developments. And I know you're also excited, and we are also excited.